Hmm.
So if we think of the king as God, because the compounds of the story, like the king is the sort of higher authority figure, right?
Hmm.
So the first brother grows this thing and he offers it to the king out of respect. And so the king in this story is very like, I like the king in this story. He seems
Yeah.
almost kind of like simple or playful, like not
Yeah.
simple like dumb, but just simple like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, dude, this is a cool turnip. Like, fucking thank you for bringing me this awesome turnip. Like, I'm gonna put it over
Right.
here,
Yeah,
and
he's
like,
not
here's a bunch of
completely
money.
instrumental. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he seems to recognize the genuineness of the offer. Whereas the other brother comes in and he's like, well, that was just a fucking turnip. Well, I've got money and riches, and like
Yeah.
I'm going to give all those to the king, and he'll give me. And so it becomes very transactional. So again, we have the like the going out into the world, trying to measure, trying to beat and conquer versus the sort of internal cultivation. And so he goes with like, oh well, here I have all this stuff, and so you're going to for sure give me a bunch more. And the guy and the king's like, well, I've got this awesome turnip, dude. I don't know what else I could give you. This is amazing.
Yeah,
Please, like,
that's the great. Yeah. That's the way to deal with it.
yeah,
That's the way to deal with it. And it
yeah.
gives him a further burden too. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not, and but he doesn't learn his lesson. Of course, he's just seething with rage, like with every step back home.
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
Cain and Abel, I thought the idea was that like Cain did not sacrifice his best and Abel sacrificed his best.
Mhm.
I thought that was the idea. And so that
Could be.
brings up the idea of like sacrifice is not like yeah, I'm gonna give God like some like pretty good stuff that I have. Like I have this extra stuff and I need like protection from the mysterious. So it's like a good swap, right? It's a good exchange.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, even
Huh.
like with Minos and the Minotaur, Poseidon Poseidon gives him something which is interesting, gives him this white bull, this amazing thing, unique, and
Mm.
he substitutes something else. He's like, this is good enough for Poseidon, right? Like he won't notice the difference. This is still an amazing thing. I'm gonna give him. But he doesn't get. I thought the idea was sacrifice is you give your best.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I haven't read the Cain and Abel story in a long time, but yeah, that makes sense to me. I think you're spot on there that it's not so much just the the meat versus the vegetables, but it's the quality of the offering and the intention behind it
Mm.
that the Lord favors. And here too, because the 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 farmer brother offers him like this big miraculous thing that he just doesn't know what to do with in the hopes that like the king will know what to do with it. Um,
Right.
so it's a giving, right? But the soldier brother is like, well, here, like, turn these little things into more things for me. I want more things, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
it's very it's very taking.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I like that, we've talked about how the turnip can be a symbol of the soul. And in a way, it makes sense here because, like, so he was working patiently, diligently, waiting, and then something that he couldn't have even imagined that he wasn't working for necessarily. Like, he was sowing turnips. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like good deeds or, virtue or whatever. But then something of a magnitude, one of those things of a magnitude that you could not have even imagined that you don't even understand comes about as a result of that.
Mm.
And yeah, and he gives it. And so what do you do with that? And he does try to reason. It's like, okay, it's not this type of thing. It's not like to be eaten. It's not to be sold. And then, the only thing he can do is give it. And there's something I
Mm.
don't even get about that, I think, but it makes sense. And yeah, all of these types of logic of all his actions with sowing and getting the turnip and giving it to the king, that's all different than what excuse me, the other brother is doing, of always doing things for what he's gonna, like you were saying, what he's gonna take back, what he's gonna get back. He's always calculating, he's always instrumental in his logic.
Hmm.
Whereas the other brother, yes, he's kind of trying things out and he's working hard and he's virtuous, but yeah, he doesn't actually know what's gonna come out of it. And of course, more and more comes out of it. And
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's actually that's interesting to me because you have like the the poorer brother is he's focused on like what he has, right? He's like, I have this earth, I have these seeds, like I'm growing things, and the other one by like trying to take things, he's actually focused on what he's lacking, and so he's like
yes,
in a way he's kind of he sees himself as poorer
yeah,
because he
yeah,
feels like he needs things, whereas the other one is like, hey, please take this from me, you know? It's a giving thing, you know?
yeah,
Um and I think ultimately if there's a, you know, a moral to the story or whatever, it's the king or the lord or god or reality or whatever will reward us more for um giving than he will for trying to fill our lack. And I think isn't there
yeah, yeah,
um
totally.
there's a line in the Bible, I think it's the Bible. I've read a lot of the Gnostic stuff too, so I sometimes I get the two confused. But I'm
Mm,
pretty sure it's the Bible. Jesus says something like, "To those who have more will be given,
yeah,
and to those who do not have even what they do have will be taken away."
yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel like that's exactly what we're looking at here. Is like he's the poor man, but he's got a giant turnip, and he's like, "Hey, I got this turnip. Like I have this turnip. You may I'm offering it to you," and
yeah,
he's receives in reply. But the other one's like, I'm gonna get some stuff. So here's a little bit. Please give me a bunch more.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and their orientation is towards God or reality is the opposite. Even though, yeah, one already has so much and one still has very little and is trying, would like to have more. Yeah, the poorer brother looks at the king as someone to give something to. He's
Mm-hmm.
at least giving him respect, even if you tried to have a cynical interpretation of the story and it's like he's stupid, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he just does something because he doesn't know what else to do, which I think you could say those same lines in like a positive way, actually, as like someone
Mm-hmm.
who's sort of innocent in a good way, not naive in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you took that cynical interpretation, you cannot say he's not looking at the king as someone to give something to, whereas the richer brother is looking at the king as someone to get something from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, very much so. And then for the king to be like, um, I'm just gonna read the copy of the version that you sent me. The king takes the gift from the rich brother very graciously and said he knew not what to give in return that was more valuable and wonderful than this giant turnip.
Yeah, yeah,
And like again, you could take that cynically, like the king's like, well, you know, screw you, buddy. Like I see what you're doing. You're just gonna take this turnip. But I like seeing the king is like he's actually really excited about the turnip. And he's like, man, you were so nice. You brought me all this gold and stuff. Like, all like, I mean, I'm a king. Like,
I
you
don't know
have
what
gold. I'm
else.
not going to give you gold for gold. That's dumb.
Yeah,
Like, I'm busy being a king, but I got this giant turnip. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like,
that's
please
right.
take this. And if we take the turnip as like the fruits of spiritual labors,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah, exactly. This is what you're
like
lacking, man.
yeah, and it's like this is a very valuable thing for you. And if you could just understand the work that went into this, but because he doesn't understand it, he loses the whole thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
um yeah, and then from there comes the rage and the spite and the resentment and the wicked
Yeah,
thoughts, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he is looking at things all and everything is of the same type maybe in the world. Everything is like a dollar value or, a gold piece value. And the gold pieces, this is no more valuable than any other turnip. That is true. That is
Hmm.
his perspective. And
Hmm.
yes, from that perspective and all the other parts of his personality come this rage. And like you're saying, he's comparing himself to his other brother. And then yeah, that leads to the worst kind of thing. Yeah, killing your brother. Yeah. Same thing but totally different perspective.
Hmm.